Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I wanted to get started on a skateboard project. Now, most of you from class already knew about the skateboards we're doing. I just wanted to do a kind of a series of the skateboards from start to finish so you can see the whole process. I'm going to end up doing maybe half a dozen or so boards to hang on the wall, and I'll do a different design on each one with different colors, and hopefully I'll videotape all that so you can kind of see different boards being done with different designs, different colors. I'll show all the masking and everything start to finish, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it comes out all right. I'm not sure how long the videos will be or how long the series will be. We'll see. I'll try to keep the videos kind of on the short side, so they're just smaller clips, but we'll see what happens. I was looking around the shop for some of the finished examples. Everybody's taken them home that have finished them, obviously. I found 3 that were kind of in process. I know this one has already been primered, painted silver, flaked, cleared, sanded, and started masking with kind of a rising sun pattern. This one is, Will is doing this one. Same thing, it's already been shot, flaked, cleared, sanded, and he's starting to do a logo on there with the computer generated stencils, which is kind of good. Maybe I'll show some of that also so everybody can kind of see up close how all that's done. This is a board that's been shot and it has not been sanded yet after being cleared and everything, so you can still see some gloss, you can still see the flakes in there, and that's what we'll be doing, right? Maybe we'll do a couple different colored flakes, we'll see what happens, but that's kind of where we're going with this. Let's see where we end up when we get these out of the way. So basically what I'm doing is just starting with a bare deck. Just so you know, these are 8.5s. Everybody always wants to know what size they are. They're 8.5s. I forgot where I got it from. I'll find the name of the place. Really good, decent price, especially if you buy in bulk, right? So these are really actually pretty nice boards. What I want to do though is get them prepped and ready for primer. The first thing we're going to do is prime these. And the reason for primer is a couple things. We want to make sure the paint sticks to whatever we're applying it to. And that's what the primer helps with, is adhesion. The other thing we're trying to do is fill up any of the wood grain, any cracks, any little voids on the surface so that our finished paint job is as nice and smooth as possible, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do, as you can see, these are just bare boards. However, I still need to sand it. It looks like some of the tops of these have kind of a clear sealer on there, a sanding sealer or a lacquer maybe. So I wanna rough that up. But I want to go over the whole board and just kind of take off any of the fuzz, any of the rough spots. If there's any chips or anything, you want to sand that out. Any rub marks from shipping or anything, I want to sand all that off. All right. So what I'm going to start with is basically anytime you're getting things ready for primer or paint, wear some latex gloves. It keeps the oils from your skin off of whatever you're trying to paint or prime, and the oils on your skin will interfere with the adhesion. What happens is the paint or primer will want to start lifting off over time because it didn't bond properly. So you'll end up seeing little blisters or cracks and stuff where it starts to peel off. All right. So what I want to do with the bare board is latex gloves. I got a little bit of 150, so a little bit of 150, and you can use just the round orbital discs, the palm sander discs. This is the same type of paper. You look on there, it's 150. Okay, so either one will work. You can rip off a piece of this, right? Don't be wasteful, just a little bit. A little goes a long way with this stuff, right? I'll just kind of peel off the sticky stuff, right? So either one of these will work. Now, if you're sensitive to dust, just wood dust, if you're allergic to wood, you might want to wear a mask. I know these are popular right now, the N95 masks. These are good for dust, okay? Do not use these for spraying primers or paints or anything like that. They're only good for dusts and obviously viruses at this time, but they don't filter out the chemicals from the paint. So get yourself a little dust mask, excuse me, if the dust from the wood bothers you, okay? But basically all we're gonna do is just give everything a quick scuff. I just wanna be thorough. We're not taking off too much of anything, just giving it a light scuff. This is cleaning it, giving it a little bit of a scratch to bite into. although the wood's not that important. It'll soak up basically anything. I want to make sure I get the edges good. And this should not take very long. Don't spend too much time on it. You just want to be thorough. Okay. Pretty simple, right? The other side, I want to make sure I'm a little bit more thorough just because this is the side that had a little bit of sealer on there. So I do want to make sure that it gets roughed up. And of course, you can use a palm sander or a pneumatic sander with this. I don't really recommend it. It is quicker, but you'll end up doing more damage typically than good. It can be a little aggressive and you'll end up misshaping the wood a little bit, taking out some of the edges and whatnot. All right, pretty simple. Just be thorough. Whatever you do, be thorough and do it the best you can, right? That's what the name of the game is. Be the best you can, do the best you can. All right. Looking pretty decent. Okay. All right. So basically that's what we're looking at. Everything's been sanded with 150. We're going to end up hanging it up next, blow it off, and get it ready for primer. All right. Pretty simple. All right. I'll be back. All right. Next thing I want to do is I want to hang this skateboard up on one of the hanging racks. And we'll do it with some welding rod. So this is kind of some stiff welding rod. And what I'm trying to do is loop it around the board so that the wire is not touching the edge of the board while we're priming or painting. And I'll show you how we do that. So what I'm going to do, just with the skateboard, through one of the holes with the welding rod. And what I'm going to do is just twist it into a loop. It's a little bit stiff, but just twist it into a loop. Right? So you got a little bit of a loop right there. We'll come over here. I'm going to take a couple of these off the hooks. Let's see where that ends up. That's a pretty decent height. You want to put it so, I'm putting them horizontal. I suppose they could be hung like this. We just have to worry about the bottom kind of whipping around a little bit. This seems to work pretty decent. So I'm going to take another rod, do the same thing, loop it, right? Hang it up on a hook. Right? This way there's the wires here are not touching the edge of the board. There's nothing touching it where it's going to leave a mark when we prime it. Okay, this is what we're looking for, right? If we were to just take a little piece of wire and hang it up, it would end up hitting the top of the board right here, and then we end up with some marks on there. We don't want that, okay? So this is a good way to do it. I'm sure there's other ways, be creative, but this, as long as we got some wire, this works pretty well, okay? Now from here, we're gonna blow it off. I'm not gonna use any cleaners because I don't want it to absorb into the wood. So I'm gonna blow it off real good when we get it in the booth. And I'll show you how to mix up some primer, and we'll start priming, all right? All right, what's going on everybody? I'm back here. I'm inside the spray booth now. I've got all the skateboards hung up. Now I've got 6 skateboards going at once. I'm mainly going to focus on this one to show you. All the rest are going to be the same, just a repeat. So what I've got, they're all hung up. They're at a good height. I don't want them out of reach. I want them to be comfortable so I can get all the edges, your ends, and get to both sides at once. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to blow all these off. I'm going to get the gun hooked up, get myself set up, and I will start recording it, probably just the spraying from a distance. I don't want to get any overspray on my equipment for right now. But I'm going to end up probably doing 3 to 4 coats of primer. I'm going to wait about 5 minutes in between coats, and we'll see how it goes. I'll probably do a separate video of like spray gun technique and spray gun setup in a little closer quarters so you can see better. For right now, I'm just going to start spraying and show you what's going on. So watch my technique. I'm probably going to start from the bottom, work my way up. This will probably take 2 or 3 passes to get from here to here. You always want to make sure that you're starting so that half of the spray is going off, right? Half of it's going on the board, and and when you finish, you want the same. You want half of it on the panel and half of it going off. That way we know we got full coverage all the way down the board. And I'm going to hit them on the edges separately. I want to make sure I get the same amount of material on the edges, and then do the same thing on the back side. All right? So next thing you'll see is a little bit of spraying. Spray with any glasses. The overspray will stick to it and ruin your glasses, so I don't recommend spraying with glasses. As long as you can still see it, be alright. So I'm just going to blow it off. I'm going to set up my spray gun, and I'll talk about that separately, just so you can watch what's going on right now. What am I adjusting this to? So I'm at about, you can see that, 25, 26 pounds on the gauge, right? I'm adjusting my fan. And my material, I want to have the maximum. Okay? Let's give it a try. much used up about 16 ounces. We're going to make up some more. Well, that sits for a couple minutes, and we'll shoot another coat on.